My best friend turned into my worst enemy after I trusted her with my biggest secret. I never thought I would be writing this, but here we are. It is hard to believe how quickly someone you trust with everything can turn around and become your worst nightmare. My best friend, Sarah, and I have been inseparable since we were kids. We did everything together: sleepovers, vacations, we even had matching bracelets we wore every day. I never imagined she would betray me in the worst possible way. It all started a few months ago when I met this guy, Josh. He was everything I had been looking for: smart, funny, caring, and most importantly, he made me feel safe. It was not long before we started dating, and things were going really well between us. I had never been in a relationship that felt so natural. The only issue was that I had not told Sarah about Josh yet. I had my reasons for keeping it a secret for a little while. Sarah had always been a bit territorial when it came to my time and attention. Whenever I would get close to someone new, she would act a bit jealous. I knew she would not take the news of me having a serious boyfriend too well, so I decided to wait until the right time to tell her. One evening, after a few months of dating Josh, I finally decided it was time to share the news with Sarah. I invited her over for dinner, just the two of us, and after we ate, I nervously told her about Josh. I expected her to be a little surprised, maybe even upset, but I never expected the reaction I got. Her face turned red, and she immediately started interrogating me. Why had I not told her sooner? How could I keep something like this from her? She stormed out of my apartment before I could even explain. I felt terrible, but I hoped she would come around once she calmed down. The next day, Sarah texted me, saying she wanted to meet and talk things over. I was relieved, thinking she had cooled off and we could go back to being best friends. We met at our favorite coffee shop, and to my surprise, Sarah apologized. She said she was just caught off guard and overreacted. I was so happy to have my friend back that I forgave her without a second thought. We spent the rest of the afternoon talking like old times, and I thought everything was back to normal. But things were not back to normal. Not even close. A week later, I started noticing strange things happening with Josh. He became distant, not responding to my texts as quickly as he used to, and when we did hang out, he seemed distracted. I asked him if something was wrong, but he kept saying everything was fine. I had a gut feeling that something was off, but I did not know what it was. Then, one night, Josh came over and asked if we could talk. My heart sank. I could tell by the look on his face that whatever he was about to say was not good. Josh told me that he had been receiving messages from someone pretending to be me. At first, he thought it was just a prank, but the messages were detailed, personal, and cruel. They claimed I had been lying to him, that I was seeing other guys behind his back, and that I had a dark secret from my past. He showed me the messages, and my stomach turned as I read them. The words were manipulative, designed to make him doubt me and push him away. And that is when I realized Sarah was behind it. The things she had written were details I had only ever shared with her, things no one else could have known. I felt like the wind had been knocked out of me. How could my best friend do something so horrible? I confronted Sarah the next day. I called her, shaking with anger and disbelief, and asked her how she could do something like this. She did not deny it. In fact, she seemed almost proud of herself. She told me that she had been doing me a favor by exposing the real me to Josh, that I was not being honest with him, and that he deserved to know. I was speechless. This was not the Sarah I knew, or maybe I had never really known her at all. I broke down, feeling completely betrayed. The one person I had trusted more than anyone had not only tried to ruin my relationship but had also tried to destroy my character in the process. Josh, thankfully, saw through Sarah's lies. After we talked everything through, he told me he trusted me and that we would work through it together. But my relationship with Sarah was over. I could not believe I had lost my best friend, not because of something I had done, but because of her jealousy and insecurities. The fallout from Sarah's betrayal was hard. I had always relied on her for support, and without her in my life, I felt lost. But I realized that I could not keep toxic people in my life, even if they were my best friend. I had to move on, focus on the people who truly cared about me, and rebuild my trust in others. I am still healing from everything that happened, but I am stronger for it. I have learned that sometimes the people closest to you can be the ones who hurt you the most. And as much as it hurts to lose a friend, sometimes it is the only way to protect yourself from further damage. Sarah tried to reach out to me a few times after that, acting as if nothing had happened, but I knew better. I blocked her on everything, cutting off all communication. It is still painful to think about how quickly things fell apart, but I am grateful for the truth. I may have lost a friend, but I gained clarity, and that is something I will never regret.